Hello and welcome everyone, this is Blackadder at the RTS League channel. On our Tuesday, I chose Mythology match, and it's gonna be one of the last ones of the group stage. It's actually another match that is probably going to be the very last one, but it's kind of question if it's actually gonna be played or not. But well, with this one on our hands, we are already going to be starting. We could have seen potentially there could be some kind of connection issues with the Mantas, unfortunately, somehow today. It worked out not really that well for him, but otherwise, let's concentrate on the match on our hands. That is actually potentially gonna be quite important for division number 1, because UCA's kinda need to win at least one of the games. They should be having playoffs alright, even if they lose to 0. But yeah, if actually TMs win to 0, then they could be having quite interesting chances of actually getting, or rather sneaking into playoffs at the expense of Frost. So this match is definitely not without its reasoning and without actually quite interesting, how to say it, implications for the division number 1 before the playoffs actually start. Well, we are of course gonna be seeing the Mystic, who is gonna be, or rather that is gonna be represented right now by Truelock, Albert Lone Hero. Yeah, that is our good old Truelock, who's gonna be on the flank, playing as the Zeus in here, of course, and he's gonna be apparently joined by Benken Colasson, who is already sending villager to the right side, as well as Zara. So it's gonna be a pocket player for them, as on the left side it's gonna be Soldado as Zeus as well, so double Zeus and Rab. That seems like a pretty decent combination for a map like Anatolia. For the opponents, the Ungrappables, it's gonna be Domantas on the right side as Hades. He has actually won at last week on Thursday the free-for-all tournament hosted by Tompix and Raudus. And he has been playing, rather he has played Hades in the finals in there, and he was quite competent with him, so definitely expecting quite good gameplay, as we also could be expecting from Tompix in the middle as Dra. So it really seems like that we're basically having a full-on, almost a floor mirror, but looking at the placements of the gods and whatnot, it seems really pretty much the same. Double Greeks on the flanks with the Egyptian in the middle. Just the lone difference that there is going to be Hades on UCA's side, whereas on the other side it's gonna be just double Zeus. It's gonna question what's going to be better, but I don't really think it matters a whole lot, as opposed to what probably the players are gonna be feeling comfortable with. So definitely curious how it's gonna be playing out here. Definitely between Domantas and Truelock, you can kind of guess how it's gonna be ending. But yeah, it seems like that we're also gonna be seeing a double on the right. Tompex apparently gonna be joining in here as well. And well, that also means that at the top it's gonna be Matreus versus Soldado in a battle of two Zeuses for the water in there. Kinda curious if maybe Tompex is gonna be joining in for the water as well. And on the left side, of course, of the map, if it's gonna be Benken Colasson doing the same. Could be making some kind of sense, because of course Egyptians, more or less, all they need to do is actually just place a few docks in the middle, and that's kind of gonna be exactly the help that they can supply, and it's gonna be pretty annoying for the opponents if the opponent doesn't get it. So that's something that potentially could be thought about for either of the teams, but so far we don't really see that. We don't really see that yet. Of course, we are just at 3 minutes, so we would be expecting anything like that all that much anyway. In the meantime, let's check around, as apparently there was maybe just a bit of a willy fight. Yeah, I can see this villager already having 18 hit points less. So there was some kind of hit maybe by Tompex, maybe some wild animals, not entirely certain, but still, it also means that, of course, the second dog by the red player is going to be coming up a bit sooner than for the blue player, and that already should be quite an interesting advantage for them as far as water control goes. Overall, the TCs seem to be reasonably positioned. We are not having any Oranos here, which is unusual in team games, of course. So we don't really see all the TCs, but the third one is going to be somewhere in here in the darkness. Otherwise, they are positioned quite alright, it seems to me. This one seems quite nice as far as actually goal placement goes. You can see both of them are very close by, not really far away at all. And even though there is a bit of a tree line in there, it's still quite alright, because it will allow, especially the pocket players, or rather the Benken Colasson in here, only one pocket player from the left side, the Ra player, to get some kind of reasonable gold mines if he actually is cooperating with his teammate Truelock in there. So yeah, let's see if that kind of obvious cooperation is going to happen or not. Yeah, this is the third TC that has been hidden in the darkness for the time being. So far we see about 2 relics. There's probably still going to be one somewhere at large. So 1 relic on the right is better villagers farming, right? Wow. If actually this got into the Ra's hands, yeah, well, that could be nice. That could be real nice indeed, especially if it was before a rain. But well, otherwise the other relic for faster infantry build time, that's also not half bad at all. That could be really helpful. helpful for absolutely anybody. We are right now at 4 minutes, so everybody's gonna be probably advancing. That's gonna be Athena for Domantas, then it's still not advancing topics. You can see it's gonna be advancing quite late. But for Egyptians, it's not really that bad. They can definitely make up for it, as Athena is gonna be also coming up for the Zeus on the left. He's gonna be advancing about 20-30 seconds later than his ally, as on the other flank, it's rather other side of the map. It's gonna be reasonably same for Soldado, for the rap player, who is already advancing to Ptah. So that's actually gonna be interesting to see, because he is quite a lot sooner to be coming up, as of course he's gonna be joining with Trulok. So I'm kinda expecting they might be having quite an upper hand in the water if they can actually take it in the very early stage, because of course since Tompix is advancing slightly later, he's potentially gonna be having slightly or rather faster economy. So he should be kinda more efficient and more able to actually spam boats if he can produce enough dogs. But so far I don't really see all that many from him. They are just about to. Yeah, you can see one of the dogs, second. Right now just gonna be building a third one. But it could be already quite too late, because of course, even though the Mantas advances the very first one, you mustn't forget, as I said, that Bank and Colasson, together with Trulok, are gonna be up a bit sooner than Tompex. So maybe it could be something for them to take advantage of. Definitely could be. Well, of course, we are also gonna be looking at him just now advancing. So let's see if that's gonna be some kind of help for him, as in the meantime, of course, Domantas has already sent the Minotaur a bit more to the front so that he can possibly assault the opponent. But we should be really seeing Jason exactly, and the Minotaur from Trulok as well being sent back there, and they should be more than enough help to get rid of this guy. Especially considering that, actually, of course, Domantas doesn't have Bolt, as does Trulok, so Trulok could just basically bolt him or whatnot. And maybe he just won't want to do that all that much, as we finally see all the boats trickling in from the Egyptian, as he of course is having quite a decent spam of dogs. You can see 5 of them. Well, maybe could have been a bit more adventurous and built at least one or rather extra dog about this position, because it's kind of defensible position for him in this way. Well, it's probably not gonna be mattering a whole lot in the long run. Well, in the meantime, we are looking at plenty of purple boats. They are finally being joined by also a few red ones. So apparently there's gonna be a bit of fight about the about the Minotaur. There is of course gonna be lost for the Mantas, so well played by Trulok in there, as the boats are so far not really supplied by him all that much. You can see he's not really fighting for the water all that significantly. It's majorly Bank and Colasson who is actually having plenty of the fight in here on his shoulders, which basically means at this point that, yeah, the amount of boats is quite significantly stronger for UCAs, and it's not looking all that promising for TMs right here on their home map. On the left side, on the other side of the map, we are right now seeing that the Minotaurs are flying around, as are apparently also the scouts and whatnot. So basically, literally the same situation as we have seen on the other side of the map, as the boats seem to be more or less kinda better for Soldado, which is right now gonna be countered by Matreus. So Soldado is gonna be countering with Restoration, as the third Restoration is gonna be cast also on the right flank, which is gonna be leaving us with one more, if I remember correctly. Oh no, actually no. All 4 have been right about now cast. Even Trulok has cast one extra to basically counter the one from their opponents. And yeah, this is right now looking very good. Very good for the Uncrappables, and they should be having quite a nice fight for the water right now, because it's pretty much done. You can see that the numbers are just not adding up for Team Mystic, so they're gonna be losing the water in here quite significantly. But it doesn't have to be over. It doesn't have to be all that over, yet again, because of the Egyptians. And if maybe Bank and Colasson was already thinking about advancing into the Heroic Age, then he could be still making some kind of comeback here. Just in resources, is he like, no, he isn't. But Trulok is advancing. Okay, so that's the reason. That's actually the reason why he wasn't advancing, or rather, why he wasn't making all that many boats. Because he is getting into Dionysus, so he's gonna be hoping to win the water, of course, through Skillas, which is not a bad idea. But on the balance patch, it's not as strong as it is on Vanilla. Still could be quite a powerful strategy, but he needs to somehow cooperate better with Bank and Colasson. And Bank and Colasson definitely needs to hide the boats inside, maybe even produce a few more, which is apparently proving a bit difficult for him, and then eject at the right time for him. Yeah, well, how's it looking on the left? Apparently still the water battle seems to be more or less equal, even though you could be... I was kind of going to say that maybe you could be detecting some kind of potential advantage for Matreus, but not really actually. This was kind of a weird decision. Why he was sending just those few back? Maybe he was trying some kind of kiting, but you could have seen that Soldado didn't bite at all. So that didn't work, and basically just cost him quite plenty extra hit points lost on his boats, and he will have to right now retreat back. He definitely will have to. So that's gonna be one of the bolts to get rid of one of the skills. Definitely good idea by Matreus. And right now, of course, he's gonna be quite disappointed that he didn't pick that is alive. The Mantas didn't pick Zeus as well, because he cannot really employ another bolt on another skill up. That would be really putting a stop to this plan quite significantly, as right now it's working quite alright. But building hammer ships against arrow ships, I can kinda guess that maybe he just wanted to spam whatever he could. They are not really that expensive, and they make really fast. They are made really fast, but still, the Remus are going to be so much better in here. And much more importantly, Juggernauts would be even better. Even better. So with hammer ships against, of course, arrow ships, not a great idea. Right now combined with the bronze, it could be at least not as terrible. Not as terrible, of course, but yeah. Really questioning why is he actually doing that. Why not just switch into siege boats and whatnot? Right now he's gonna be apparently advancing also forward on the docks from the land. As kinda why not, but we also mustn't forget that apparently the Mantas has already captured the front TC, as has Tompex, and they are definitely thinking about advance on the land quite a lot sooner actually than their opponents. As of course this is not really any kind of significant advance, just those 2 free mythical units, and that's about it. That is about it. Okay, so bronze is still very much active, and those 2 skills are quite significant at this stage, as of course the boats are not in enough numbers in here for UCAs, and they will have to fight for the water quite a lot. So maybe just the mythical age, or rather the heroic age, was quite a good idea from Trulog, and it might be really lending him quite a good help in somehow trying to secure the water. How's it looking with advances? Nobody really advancing, just Matreus into Apollo. So that basically means that right now the water should be coming 40 Ms, so they time it properly, it seems like, and it's gonna be kinda harder right now for UCAS to actually deal with that, because they don't really have all that many docks. And they don't really seem to be ready to advance into the next ages, as of course, with all this amount of boats, and mainly those skills, they should be having quite a good job, rather quite a good time of getting rid of the docks in time. In time. So that's more or less done in here, as how's it looking on the other side of the water. Pretty much where we left it, not really any kind of significant advantage for either player. What is though interesting potentially is that the battlefield has kind of moved forward by Soldado, rather from Soldado, and apparently Matreus is having significant issues against him. You can see he's being pushed back, and even a second TC in the front is being captured by Green. Whereas for Teal, well, he did capture the second already as well, but the back one, so he's kind of taking things a bit more carefully, not wanting to advance on the front one, but he might not really be happy about the results in that, because he might want to be careful about what's gonna happen, as apparently Green is already scouting that as well. So maybe he is gonna be having some kind of mind of trying to steal it, which is exactly what's right now happening on the minimap, if you can have a look. Right now, yeah, as they are gonna be breaking off the battle, because of course of all those siege boats coming up for Matreus, so it's gonna be very hard for Soldado right now. But the battle is of course right now happening next to TC, where Trulog is doing what he can to actually stop a steal of his front TC, which would be pretty deadly. But with Ajax being in there, that's gonna be, of course, this guy dead, and he's gonna be continuing, of course, on the Hydra. Yep, and the village is still very much alive, and unfortunately for Trulog, he doesn't have any kind of supporting army, because he doesn't have any military buildings whatsoever. So he's having just basically second town center in their village, apparently waiting for probably markets. Yeah, market in there for Trulog, some extra houses, so probably gonna waiting for market also for the blue player. As on the water, yep, exactly as he expected, it's gonna be more or less apparently a done deal. But it's a done deal there, as apparently Ajax has done, or rather dealt, already with the Hydra, and is also advancing into Apollo right now. Well, the front TC is gonna be helping him quite immensely, and apparently it's gonna be already 4th, as he has captured the back one as well. As Tompik is just now casting Raid, which is not gonna be taken advantage of by Matreus at all. It's gonna be only a bit of advantage for the Mantas. You can see that he's having at least a few farms. But well, none of the enemies actually were ready for anything like that, as apparently blue is just now running out of gold, so that is already quite nice advantage for them. In the meantime, Teal is advancing forward, trying to somehow claim the TC for himself, as there is a relic for better building hit points. Not bad at all. Not bad at all in there, as of course Trulog is already into Hephaestus. That's nice. No, this way. Hephaestus is coming for Matreus, for Hathor, and yeah, Hathor times 2 is coming for both Ras. But it's so far pretty much it, as the water battle is still kinda alive, because of course Soldado has also advanced into the heroic age. through Apollo, as we are looking at Manticore in there. So yeah, kinda curious, because he of course needs to switch into some other unit as well. And the other unit should be probably a few more hammer ships, because of the sheer fastness and quickness of how they are made, so that he can supply some units quick and fast, because of course he can just fight at least hammer ship against hammer ship. It's not half bad, especially since he's having such a strong support in the juggernauts against the arrow ships. So yeah, could have been some kind of idea, but well, that's not really right now on the menu so far. In the meantime, of course, on the left there's gonna be fight between Soldado and Matreus already on the land. It seems like that Soldado was quite a bit faster, and it's actually producing some hoplits in there, but that's gonna be easily countered by all the hypaspace, which is exactly right now what Matreus is doing. But he kinda needs to hurry up, as this is not looking that great. All those, of course, Greek hoplites, especially Zeus hoplites, are gonna be dealing with the buildings in no time if they're actually left unattended. But so far we don't see any kind of upgrade, so it probably is gonna be just up to efficiency. If he can though get rid of the Manticore. So Heracles, come on, you have a job to do. You have a pretty significant job to do. Yep, exactly. Get rid of her. Ah, there we go with the bolt. Okay, that's a bit of a surprise. And of course a significant issue for Matreus, because right now still she's gonna be alive. And if there's gonna be a bit more spammed by them, well, could be useful. Could be useful, of course, in there, as is this very nice Locust Swarm by Tompex, who's gonna be getting plenty of course, gold miners in there, as there is already attack going on, quite a strong way by the Mantas. But here we go, as apparently already, oh well, that's gonna be nice. It's gonna be a nice storm, because of course it is gonna be catching most of the army, and much more importantly, all of those villages in there. That's definitely a nice denial of the front TC, which could be definitely used by Soldado, as he does have the advantage just now, as another Locust Swarm is gonna be used on gold mine. Oh wow, did you see that misplay in there? Oh, come on, this is horrible for Tompex. He lost like most of his gold miners right on the spot, at least half of them. And it was all because, yeah, he was clumping them, just clicking them all and sending them somewhere, and oh, they were trying to stay in formation, and that was exactly their downfall. Yeah, well, that sucked for him. That sucked big time. Anyway, front TC captured by, of course, Benk and Colason. Everybody seems to be at their TCs just through Locknot, because, of course, he has been stolen by the Mantas. But still, of course, this is going to be resulting in him and his faster advancing through Mythical Age, that he should be having at least some kind of chance on taking it. But apparently, the Mantas is playing very well indeed. He's already having 45 TC, so far not having anything else, just having, of course, better LOS for the buildings and units by the Oracle. That's of course useful overall. And on the water, yeah, well, oh, yep, this is exactly what can happen on Anatolia if you actually lose water. And this is nicely played by Truelock, so let's see if it's gonna be bearing any kind of fruit. Definitely could, because this seems like a pretty huge surprise. And with, of course, the fortress being built, that's probably gonna be for some spam of Helepoli, maybe even Petropoli, because they could be shooting, well, not from here on the TC. So yeah, Helepoli are gonna be better, so just let's wait for them. In the meantime, of course, in the middle there's gonna be a bit of battle, medium Toxotai, with baseline of upgrades on them already. Medium Hypaspis as well, for the opponent, for Truelock, it seems like medium as well. Yeah, almost baseline upgrade as well, so they seem to be basically having an equal game. If it wasn't for the difference of the TCs 4 versus 2, but in the middle, apparently Truelock, or at Tompix, that's the other player on T, advancing forward with quite a significant amount of of siege towers. He's actually very nice counter to all of those chariot archers, because of course that's more or less a useless unit against that. So that was nicely played indeed. And even though Benk and Colason is gonna be rebuilding that quite soon indeed, and without all that much of an issue, it seems like, at least for the moment, as long as the Pharaoh is alive. Yeah, well, those siege towers are gonna be there, and maybe he could be just coming around and attacking the TC from the back. He definitely could. That would be a nice idea from him. At any rate, on the left side, apparently TC has been finally captured for Matreus, who is already also securing the position by Fortress and pushing back on Soldado, who is down to just 2 TCs, as he hasn't been able to capture his back TC yet, which is of course quite a significant disadvantage, the same as we could see on the right battlefield. On the right battlefield for the Mantas against Truelock. So this is probably just gonna be up to sheer numbers for Matreus to somehow salvage the battle and maybe even win it for himself. So far, no extra upgrades. Just even normal Toxotai, medium Hypaspis at least in there. And on the opponent's side, how's it looking in there? Medium Hoplites no upgrades whatsoever, as the TC is just normal, not having any kind of extra upgrades. So it's probably gonna be fairly easy by the Zeus hoplites to take it down. Yeah, he just needs to somehow take care of all of those hoplites that are killing him. So yeah, let's see how he deals with that. In the middle, apparently there is going to be a switch by Tom Pix from all of those siege towers that have just died into catapults, which is of course a whole lot better with some siege works extras, and with the big roll being quite close by to the battlefield, it seems to be going quite well for him against Bank and Colosson. And this is definitely dangerous, of course, for Blue, because once he loses this position, he's gonna be losing gold mining at the same time from about 30 villages. That's a huge deal. That's a very huge deal, and he's gonna be having quite a significant outing. And maybe he could be at least trying to somehow diversify into this goal. But, well, it's not really safe, but at the same time, the opponents still don't know about it yet. In the meantime, yellow villagers coming forward with purple as well. Purple coming for the goal. Yellow villagers apparently gonna be interested, and they haven't been noticed, it seems like. They're gonna be dropping some military academy, and maybe just a fortress would be good at this point. Son of Osiris is just now cast by red, and he's gonna be joining into the fun in the middle. As of course, some mercenaries are making an appearance as well. This wood line is gonna be serving as quite a nice cover for all of those catapults. That's exactly what you want. Sometimes you see players, of course, making it artificially through walls, but so far that doesn't seem to be really needed here, as he has have all the natural resources for that. And yep, this TC is gonna be toast. Absolutely toast, especially with the reinforcements coming in. So goodbye, that's gonna be last shot from this catapult, and TC is gone, which is gonna mean just 2 TCs against 3 as well, as shifting cells are coming here, and they have been shifted where exactly? Not entirely certain, but it doesn't really matter all that much, as we are of course looking at finally Domantas noticing that there's some kind of shenanigan by Trulok happening, but he so far hasn't noticed what is going on here, and plenty of towers in there are gonna be apparently right now countered by the underworld passage. So that's unusual actually usage of it, but it kinda makes sense, because of course in the middle he seems to be really holding Trulok by the neck. So it's not really any kind of issue that he sends a few units back, and he should be really able to defend this quite alright without any kind of significant issue. So these dudes should be dead, this front build as well, even though it's not gonna be still all that easy. Finally champion hoplites and basically all line of upgrades in there. Just missing the last shields, as he did have, rather finally did get some Forge of Olympus apparently, and there seemed to be an idea by Backhand Colosson actually for some kind of catapults on the TC, which is nice, but unfortunately it's gonna be just a bit too late, as on the left that we have seen Matreus was already beating Soldado, and in the middle it wasn't really going all that promising after the TC was done for TMs either. So GG, and that means that UCAs are gonna be leading 1-0, and it also kinda means that TMs are already gonna be out of the running for the playoffs at this point. Yep, those side builds are very good idea by both of them, by both Trulok and Bang and Colosson, but unfortunately they were just a bit too slow, and they couldn't deal, or rather do the damage just in time. Wasn't done in time in there. Yep, that's potentially a bit of an issue, but well, they did win it back quite well. So not really sure what was this issue in there all that much. Well, just a few sheep or other goats in there waiting for potential underworld passage that didn't really come into fruition a bit later. So let's check into the post game. It's gonna be Domantas leading most of it, which is kinda deserved. But you can see Trulok wasn't really far behind. So yeah, the right side was quite strong, played by both players, but the stolen front TC from Trulok, that was apparently a game changer in there. Quite a significant one, from which Trulok, unfortunately for him and his team, couldn't get back from. Military count 200, units killed 108. Not exactly great. But well, I already need to come out as they are starting the game. So GG.